Oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Welcome to the review of what was an extraordinary game at the Etihad Stadium. It finished Man City 3, Fulham 2. It doesn't tell half the story. This is a video for not only YouTube, not only Patreon members, but YouTube as well. Thank you to my amazing Patreon members. We've gained a couple, quite a few this week, actually, and the support is unbelievable. It doesn't stop here. The international break doesn't mean let's take 2 weeks off and sit on the sofa and play some FIFA. No, it means we're going to be making daily Fulham content. And if you like that sort of stuff, it's the best place to get it. £5 a month, and you get daily Fulham content. And there's loads of cool stuff that's coming over the international break as well. Really excited for the next couple of weeks. Let's get into what was just the most balmy game. I had a comment on my YouTube video last week saying, Jack, stop staring at your phone. Well, the reason I stare at my phone is because I've got all the stats here that I like to reel off for everyone. It's not like I'm getting distracted by all the texts from all my friends. No one even texts me anyway, so it's fine. Do you know what? I haven't looked at the stats. I've seen like screenshots of XG and stuff like that. And we'll get into that. But I really wanted to see the possession stats because Fulham had such a lot of the ball in large spells of the game, especially in the second half. We'll get onto that as well. But the overall possession was Man City 58 to Fulham's 42, which actually is pretty fair. It's a pretty fair assessment. It's a fact, so I can't really judge it any more than that, really. Expected goals: Man City 1.57, Fulham 2.6. My head is on Mars. Total shots 20 to Fulham's 11. Shots on target 7 to 4. Big chances 1, Man City. Big chances Fulham 5. Oh my gosh. Big chances missed 1. Big chances missed Fulham 3. I'm not even going to go. Let's not talk about any more stats. I'm going to run through the game as I tweeted it because I basically tweeted on all the sort of major / half major incidents. So if my Twitter, who is now not loading for some reason, if that just wants to load, then we'll get into what happened in the game. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Twitter at the moment. You'll have to bear with me for a second. But yeah, I mean, let's just run through who scored the goals whilst my Twitter decides to actually function. Okay, if this doesn't work, this is a nightmare because I'm relying on Twitter to sort of run me through the game. I've obviously watched the highlights, but what is going on? But anyway, right, that's just not working. What a shame. I might have to use Twitter on my laptop instead and see if that works. Okay, so let's have a look at the goal scorers. So it started with Andreas Pereira, equalizer from Kovacic. Kovacic then took the lead. Tweets aren't loading right now. Maybe Twitter's just down, or X, should I call it? It's not working anywhere. I mean, talk about timing. That is a disaster. That is a disaster. Okay, I'm gonna have to go off memory then. That's fine. That makes it more fun. Like I said, I've watched match of the day, but okay, we'll do it off the cuff. Where were we? Okay, so Kovacic scored twice, a third from Jeremy Doku. I'm amazed it's not working. And then Adama Traore, Rodrigo Muniz made it 3-2. Great start. Okay, so here we go. So City started the game pretty strong. In fact, Haaland got in behind a couple of times, but slightly wider. You obviously don't want him running down the middle. It was wide. Fulham kept a good shape, and I think it was Gundogan had a shot wide. Yeah, shot wide from the edge of the box. Aha! Here we go. Welcome back, Twitter. Put my Wi-Fi back on. I apologise for this. Right. So Gundogan shot wide in the 3rd minute. In the 4th minute, Haaland then got in a little bit wider, dragged his shot wide. And then in the 8th minute, Haaland had a shot straight at Leno. And basically what Fulham were doing out of possession, they were playing a back five with Iwobi basically playing as the right back, and then Tete cutting, playing as the third centre back, sort of tucking inside and playing alongside Joachim Andersen and Calvin Bassey, and it worked really, really well. 15 minutes in, Haaland's tame header is caught by Leno, so he was having chances, Haaland, but wasn't really causing as many issues. That chance where he dragged the shot just wide was actually quite close. 17 minutes in, Adama Traore clean through, shrugs off Rico Lewis. He's in. Just score. Just put the ball in the net. But Ederson makes a really good save with his feet and he makes himself big. That's obviously a trend that's going to keep on going throughout the whole game. I tweeted that both Silva and Guardiola are very animated on the touchline. Great to watch, but Silva will be fuming Traore didn't put that away. Yes, you and me both. To be fair, we knew this was going to happen. We knew that we had threats on the break. We thought they would come from long balls over the top from Anderson, but actually Fulham were quite happy to play out from the back, as risky as it is. And Leno actually gave the ball away 3 minutes in, and Gundogan almost scored 3 minutes in. But Fulham did fairly well. What I would say is the opening 10 minutes, Fulham did find it very hard to get out. They were getting pressed really, really high. City are just, I was saying this on Patreon, like they're just completely like, the way they press, the way they overturn the ball, they just don't stop. They genuinely, it's like playing. You know when you come up against someone on like Foot Champs and they're just insanely good at the game, and you feel like you just can't like pass the ball, you can't keep possession. It's like that, but obviously on a much higher and much more serious scale. But yeah, no, Traore got in. Should have been 1-0 Fulham. Honestly, it really should have been. 25 minutes in, Gundogan heads wide of the post, and then 27 minutes in, a goal. Now it was like a sort of Fulham were on the attack, but it was quite slow. It wasn't really going anywhere, but like it was good. We had the territory in their final third. It was like Robertson crossed it, went all the way to Iwobi. He then found Jimenez, who then played it back to Iwobi, and then it was like, and then Jimenez got the ball and flicked it like the most incredible assist you'll ever see. He wasn't looking. He didn't know where the ball was going. He just had the awareness that he knew maybe someone was behind him. And the flick sort of went high up in the air, took Akanji. Like Akanji had no idea what was going on. And then Pereira was just there on hand, like 5-6 yards out to volley in. 1-0 Fulham. Now, we've had this feeling before. We've had this feeling before where we've taken the lead at Man City in the FA Cup. We did it. We leveled up through Pereira and we leveled up through Tim Ream. So, as I tweeted at half time, the last 4 times we've gone to the Etihad, we've scored in the first half, all 4 times, and they've been meaningful goals. Carvalho, Pereira twice, and Tim Ream. And on all those occasions, obviously we've gone on to, in fact, on all those occasions we've gone on to lose. Apart from from all of those occasions we've gone on to lose. There we go. For some reason, I thought we drew. We did not draw. We did not draw. We did take the lead and then, of course, score to level the game. But we went on to lose the game on all 4 occasions. How gutting and how very Manchester City away is that? And then 29 minutes, Fulham break again. It was actually a really clever break. Iwobi makes a really good run, actually. And then he's found his first touch is like okay because it sort of takes it away from the defender, lays it on a plate for Traore. And I feel like Traore is like a bit too close to the keeper. Like, again, the keeper comes out quite well, but again, he should be scoring because he like scoops it over the bar. Like anything lower than that, and it's going to go in the back of the net or maybe hit the bar, but it would have gone in. Fulham should be 2-0 up. And then 32 minutes, Kovacic equalises. Ball falls to him. He just smashes it. Comes off Joachim Andersen, top corner. Like, oh, come on, seriously. But yeah, fair enough. Man City, on the balance of play, like have had good chances, and obviously they're always going to create chances. And whether you're playing 5 at the back, 6 at the back, 7 at the back, like Arsenal did, they're going to create chances. You know what I mean? So, and then Bernardo Silva had a header. Oh, actually, no, Gvardiol with a shot, which was well saved by Leno. That was a good save. Bernardo Silva headed a header wide. And then it was half time. And Fulham were in the game at the break. Probably should have scored more goals. But unfortunately, it was just the one. And 1-1. And I was thinking, God, if we can hold on to this, a 1-1 draw at Man City, it would be fantastic. But we started the second half so poorly. Ball fell to the edge of the box. Kovacic took 1 touch and just curled it in. It was a good goal. It was a good finish. The thing is, like, with all 3 goals for Man City, it wasn't really like bad defending or mistakes or anything. It was just, okay, there was a deflection in the first goal. And there was just 2 other very, very good finishes. So, like, it's not an awful lot of blame you can come retrospectively at Fulham's door. We didn't get caught out. Because it was Castagna maybe standoffish a little bit to Doku, maybe, but I'm nitpicking there if I had to pick something that was wrong with the defensive structure of the goals. Maybe we're too slow to get out to Kovacic. Okay, like these are things, but in terms of like structure and like defending your box and defending your goal, like there wasn't an awful lot we did wrong, apart from maybe those opening 2-3 minutes of the second half. We were just so slow to get out. and just didn't start the second half well at all. Bassey got booked. Then Fulham made a couple changes. Smith Rowe and TC came on for Pereira and Sander Berger. And then Traore. I mean, this is one of the most extraordinary things you'll ever see. Walker versus Traore. Like, two of the fastest players in the Premier League going head to head. And bear in mind, Walker had just come on. Walker had just been substituted onto the field. So he was fresh. Traore had been playing for 68 minutes. And Traore just, like, they went head to head and he just burnt him. Traore absolutely did him for pace. And yeah, again, Ederson was quick out of his goal, but Traore should have the know-how to score. And it's saved by the keeper. And that's 3 chances for Traore. Oh my word! And we'll go on to what it means in a bit once we finish the wrap up of the game. And then Fulham had just loaded the ball. We were playing Man City away. We were attacking and trying to get an equaliser, and we just had so much of the ball because the spell after when City made it 2-1, I was thinking, God, this is going to be really hard now because City just going to keep the ball and overturning it and creating chances. They didn't create an awful lot. They had a lot of the ball, but Fulham just needed they almost needed that Traore chance to spur them into life, which happened. And yeah, Fulham just had a lot of the ball and a lot of chances to sort of put the ball into the box, but there was a lot of patient build up. And Man City defensive structure was fantastic. They put a lot of men behind the ball, and this was incredible. It was like Fulham have City penned in in their own backyard. This is a 4-time champions, 4 in a row, and Fulham are just having the majority of the ball, majority of the territory, trying to find some gaps in the defence. And fair play to City, they just weren't letting us through. They have defensively, when they have to defend City in numbers behind the ball, they're very good at it. And Fulham just couldn't quite penetrate in those areas. And then on 76 minutes, after about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes of this, Jimenez, the ball from Robinson was really good. Kenny then leaves it. Kenny was really good when he came on, by the way. Leaves it for Jimenez, and he's like a clear strike on goal, but it was an insane block. I think it might have been from Ruben Dish. Apologize if I got that wrong, but fantastic block. Fantastic block. Good move. So unlucky. Nelson, Castagna, Muniz all come on for Iwobi, Tete, and Jimenez on 77 minutes. And then Doku scores like this insanely weird goal where that was not a football. That was one of those inflatable footballs that just swerves up in the air every time you kick it. He just cuts inside. Yeah, Castagna again. He should have been tighter, maybe. But no one was expecting that. And Leno just didn't know what to do with it because the ball just swerved into the top bins. Great goal, but so unjust. Do you know what I mean? They haven't really earned that. They've basically just got the sliders up on FIFA and just smashed one in top bins. Anyway, it was just a great game. And I said, look, that's tough on Fulham. They've given City a difficult game. They've had them under the cosh for the last 10, 15 minutes. One attack, Doku cuts in, smashes it high into the net. Fulham should leave with their heads held high, and they definitely should. And then Bernardo Silva had a shot straight at Leno, and then Muniz scores on 88 minutes. Nelson this time down the right hand side, puts it in, and Muniz has a lot of space. Turns and hits it, took a tiny nick off a defender, but went in. And that point, you're thinking, well, Fulham have scored 2. They should have scored 5. This game should be so different to what it is. And if and buts and maybes and it's just you can't. You can just say, oh, but if he did this, he would do that. But the whole thing is if Traore had scored in the first half, maybe City ramp it up more. Game state is a very, 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 very key point to make in this. If City are 2-0 down, they're obviously going to absolutely ramp it up on us, and it's going to be a difficult game anyway. And who knows the outcome from there? But then again, just take your chances, and you never know what's going to happen in the game. And that's all. If Fulham had taken all their chances, they would have had 5 goals, maybe even 6 goals. Okay, the block from Jimenez's shot was just a good block. All the rest were saves from Ederson, which Traore not saves from Ederson because Traore missed that second one over the bar. And then in added time, there was 5 added minutes, and City were running down the clock. They were wasting time. Ederson got booked. They were holding the ball in the corner. They were throwing a ball on the pitch. They were doing all the dark arts that they were complaining about Arsenal doing a couple of weeks ago. They did it themselves. And look, any Premier League team's got to do that. When you're seeing out a game, you need the victory. Any team, whether it be League One, League Two, Championship, Premier League, wherever, you'll always run down the clock. You'll always try and time waste. And City had to do that dirty side of the game against Fulham. It just proves that how much pressure Fulham were putting City under. At 3-1, you think the game's dead, and then suddenly Fulham get a goal back, and the game sort of changes. Unfortunately, Fulham couldn't really carve out an opportunity in added time. But yeah, that was full time, and massive credit to Fulham. Huge credit to the Fulham for their performance. 2 losses this season, both by 1 goal margins to Man United and Manchester City. On other days, if we'd have taken chances, we could still be unbeaten in this Premier League season. That's the most crazy thing about this. But 11 points from 7 games is such a fantastic points tally. And I'm wearing my jumper today because I feel so much pride in this team. Not many teams in Europe will go to Manchester City and come away saying we should have scored 5 goals. I don't think maybe Inter Milan maybe could have got a couple in the Champions League. I don't think Brentford would have said that when they lost 2-1. I don't think Ipswich would have said that when they lost 4-1. I can't remember Arsenal 2-2. They could have scored maybe a couple more, but they definitely should have scored with Gabriel's header before he actually made it 2-1 with his headed goal at the end of the first half. But anyway, my point being is that Fulham, and Pep Guardiola said it on Match of the Day, and he said it in his post-match interviews, like how much trouble we caused them. Traore was a menace, and there's a point to be made that Dan Cook made on Twitter as well. Like, for all of Traore's missed chances yesterday, he's such a good threat to have, and he's on the form of his life right now. And you can't really be like, well, he's not on the form of his life because he didn't score those chances. But in terms of what he does for this team, how many chances he creates, and the sort of pressure he puts under those defenders, like Rico Lewis had no chance in hell with that first chance. But yeah, if that was a different player, they wouldn't have had the pace to get in behind. Let's just say that with those 2 chances. If it was like Jimenez on the end of that chance where he put it over the bar, maybe he scores that. Oh, it's if, what's, maybes, and well, Fulham are 7th now in the league after Newcastle's point at Everton. They could go down to 8th if Spurs beat Brighton, but the lowest will be over the international break is 8th, and like it's just a fantastic achievement. And on the Match of the Day, like all the analysis, it wasn't about City and their win. It was about how good Fulham were and how they almost stopped City. It's very much a case of nearly, and it's like, when is our big break going to come against Man City? Will we ever get a better chance of beating City? We don't play City till the last day of the season, where for us, maybe our season's already wrapped up. For them, the title's maybe already wrapped up. They might be going for the title. It might be a very, very exciting game. But the good thing is we don't have to go to the Etihad now for a very long time, unless we get them in the FA Cup. And yeah, it wasn't a horrible game. It wasn't like there's that like sort of backs against the wall, horrible, just trying to get anything you can sort of game against City where they inevitably score 4 or 5 against you. It was just a really good game where both teams had big chances. And on the balance of play, Fulham were probably the better team because we had a game plan and we executed it. And if it wasn't down to finish, if it was just down to bad finishing that we didn't get more goals. I'm immensely proud. If there's Man City fans watching this, I want to say that I thought Man City were fantastic in the way, like, when they're just, they're trying to pass the ball around the box and they're playing it wide, and especially opening 10, 15 minutes, they were so good at overturning it and playing it to Foden or Bernardo Silva. God, it was just relentless. And I was like, gosh. But then once Fulham got in their stride, City struggled a lot. They struggled a lot. But I think City fans will come away with that thinking, thank God we got away with that. And, does it prove this is why they're champions? They still grind out results, even though they're second best or they weren't at their best, perhaps. And that's obviously a trait of a champion. We've seen that before with Fulham in the Championship when we haven't played at our best and we've still come away with victory. I think I'll leave it there. It was a marathon game. It's a marathon review. I hope I've done it fairly, and I hope it's been a justified sort of review of proceedings. In terms of my experience of the Etihad yesterday, I had a great time. I had a really good time. To score 2 goals up there is just good fun. What could have been? We'll be dwelling on that for the next 2 weeks. Next up for Fulham, Aston Villa, Champions League, Aston Villa at Crystal Palace. No, at Craven Cottage. And then we go to Goodison Park, and then we host Brentford in the derby. So lots to look forward to. And like I said at the start, daily Fulham content on the Patreon, £5 per month. Such good value. You get daily Fulham content. You get a say in what you want to see. You say, "Oh, can you do a video on this?" I'll go, "Okay, sure. I've got time. It's 2 weeks of international break. Let's do it." So if you do want to know what that's all about, the link is in the description of this video. It's in the description. It's in my bio on Instagram and Twitter as well. And my ads is for both there, Jackelli FFC. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for being here. And well, what a game. Brilliant. Marco Silva is an absolute genius. It's just a shame that Traore couldn't put the ball in the net. Actually, we saw Traore, Robinson, Reed, Traore, Sessegnon, a few other players were on our train on the way home, and we saw them as they got off the train. And a lot of Fulham fans, despite defeat, were in great spirits and very encouraging. Raul Jimenez was there as well. Very encouraging towards Adama Traore. Keep your head up. Fantastic performance. A lot of criticism on Twitter for Traore for his finishing, but let's just sort of think. Let's just sort of take a step back and think how good this Fulham team really is. Should Reece Nelson start the next game? We'll talk about it in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much for watching, and we will speak again very, very soon.